Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is April the 20th, 2017. My
Woo!
name is Kay. I'm joined by my edibles chewing co host, Jamal Bunner.
Yum.
No. On today's show, we'll talk about the NFL schedule, the NFL draft, for our teams in the offense, and much more. So, Jamal, you want to give a shout out?
Yeah, Kay, I wanted to give a shout out to my man down in Alabama, great linebacker, Mr. Foster, who admitted to diluting his sample and came forth and told the truth. So there's no great mystery about what took place. So to him, big shout out.
Well, Jamal, if the sample is diluted, we already know what happened. We don't need an explanation for someone trying to throw away millions of dollars in the draft.
But
If
Kay, the thing is my excuse was that it was food poisoning back during the combine. So I'm gonna go ahead and come clean before the draft. So shout out to him to coming clean. What about you, Kay?
you endorse this, you
I
endorse this behavior.
I endorse him coming out.
Okay, so moving on, I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out to my girl, your love interest, Sophia Williams. Congratulations on the newborn. She's pregos, and she just said she wasn't gonna wait any longer on you, Jamal.
There's no proof it wasn't me.
Okay. All right. So for our discussion, we're going to talk about all sports university. Okay. Forest Trail Sports University is, I guess, one of the first sports only universities in the U.S. And when I read the article in ESPN, I found it pretty interesting, the accusations that were in the article, and also doing a little bit more research on it. Um, they mentioned that they were asking an online university to offer classes to their students. Waldorf University later come to find out that the university wasn't able to do anything in North Carolina, as far as teaching students. So that did not quite work out. The university is offering basketball, track, golf, baseball, and cross country. So, and also on a side note, that this university has played NCAA Division two schools. Okay, and one of them actually is Piedmont International University, which is coached by former Maverick Josh Howard. I mean, I didn't know he was coaching, but this is what you learn when you do a little research. So there's a lot of other things that were unfavorable in this story, and you guys can go ahead and Google it if you so want to. So Jamal, my question to you is, what is to be gained by a child or a young adult going to an all-sports university, and how can you say that this is not strictly about the dollar?
I don't know what can be gained. I think the selling point was the ability for them to be able to concentrate on purely sports, and they initially were offering an education to go along with it. And when Waldorf kind of dropped out, it was still one of those. I can't tell whether they told the students or not that that was the case, but it was definitely about trying to I'm really not even sure because honestly, the thing that I asked you after I read it was couldn't they have gone to a junior college and done the same thing for less? Okay. So I was really and truly trying to understand what the idea was behind paying the extra money to go to these facilities that were, it was really and truly a bait and switch as far as I was concerned. It was really kind of a sad situation for the kids who went. How is this not about the money? It was strictly about the money. There were conversations, emails that took place that were continually about money, the loss of money, that the students weren't bringing in enough, they weren't paying, and once the funding started to dry up, they started kicking kids out who weren't able to pay or whatever. So this was purely about the money. It was no nothing involved in terms of an education. I doubt that really and truly the administrators truly cared about these kids beyond the dollar sign. The coaches, unfortunately, were duped into this, and I feel bad for them because they really tried to put their heart and soul into helping these kids. What did you think?
As I said, a lot of things were kind of discouraging about what was in the article. A lot of stuff, like I said, I hadn't even brought up. But to me, it seemed like, hey, let's just play sport and let's have fun and let's, not really worried about if you get an education or not. So there's no easy way in life. It's not. And I don't want anyone to spend the rest of their lives trying to figure out how that decision was horrible and was definitely not the right way to go. So I just find it interesting, and I definitely wanted to get your take on it. So the news around the league, the NFL today released its schedule. We'll definitely be talking about that. We get excited about the littlest things.
Woo! Wow!
Okay. Yes, and the draft is
Next week. Next
yes.
week.
All right. So, I don't really want to talk about it.
I don't either.
Okay.
Okay, it happened.
It happened.
All right,
Okay,
so we'll go.
All right. So, how do you feel about Charles Barkley and his callous comments about the emotion that Isaiah Thomas displayed? What is it, a day after his sister passed? What do you feel about that?
I'm going to try to put myself into Charles' shoes and say that the feeling that Charles was trying to put out there is the show of emotion maybe upset the balance of the team. Granted, it was a tragedy that did take place, but leave those emotions in the locker room is what I'm taking from his comments, and that you come out on the floor and you focus, and is that what you would bring to your team, that instead your emotional outburst was a distraction. In a similar fashion, I guess, to somebody who's extremely angry or someone who's overjoyous. Different
Okay.
situation, but yeah.
I hear you. But what I have for you is my feeling and my emotion is mine. And it's not for your comfort. It's for me to get it out, for you to understand how I feel about a certain situation. And just listening to the comment, it just made me think, like, Charles, though, it's not about you. This is not your trial. This is not anything that you have to go through. All you have to do is just watch what I do on the court.
Right.
And losing someone, you know what I'm saying? That's, who knows how they're going to react.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the way he reacted at that time, I have absolutely no problem with it. So that's how I feel about that.
Honestly, if I can, I honestly would have preferred that Isaiah took game one off and to have been with his family. I just my opinion, Kay.
I mean, I hear you, but it's not for any of us to say how this man should handle his tragedy. If being on that court is the best thing that kind of ease whatever he's going through at that time, then by all means, let him do it. I don't have a problem with it. And if that's what he needed to do in his process, that's what he did. But I hear you. Anyway, so we're going to go to the top coaching rants. So, what is yours? Come on, hit me with something.
Mine was, and this was based upon the rant by the coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, who, after I listened to it, I had to put it in my top 3. I thought it was great. He came with specific statistics, and he nailed it down, and it's like, bam, there's your data. And I was just like, ooh, all right. And my top had been Dennis Green and the Bears. That, for me, was everything. But this rant that I found from Lee Aliyah, the manager of the Chicago Cubs back in 1983, where he goes on this profanity-laced rant about the Cubs fans and the city of Chicago was just everything. So that to me, that's my greatest one. That's just if you got a chance to hear it, it's something else.
Yeah, because it was absolutely no reason why they should have lost that game. And you're watching in the fourth quarter, like, is this about to go down? And I think they were heading to the play. It was a playoff situation on the line, or something important that they won. So that is a good one. Mine is Eric says he loves the Memphis Grizzlies rant. And what was the tagline? What was the best line out of that?
Was it type your or something about your data? That's your data. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting on the T-shirt. I want it. I gotta
Yes.
have it.
Yes.
I like Herman Edwards. Okay.
Yes.
Now, you played to win the game. I love it.
I love it too.
I love it. I love everything he says. He's so right on, spot on. I don't think I've ever disagreed with anything he said, except him being an Eagles fan.
Eagles coach. Yeah.
I guess the Eagles gave him a little money, so I understand.
I'll let that slide for now too.
I'm sorry.
I'll let it slide now too. But what about Jim Mora?
That was good, and also his expression. Playoffs. Yeah. Playoffs.
But
and then I like the tweet of Iverson.
I was. Yeah, it wasn't a coach thing, but yeah, that one.
It's ran all the same, so yeah, it's a good one.
Well, that was good. I love that one.
Okay. All right, so it's doing something that I don't think I've ever seen him do, and that's really being critical of his teammates. People that he has to go to the locker room with. Maybe they shoot around together. Maybe they ride the plane or the bus together. Stuff like that. How do you feel with him being so critical of his teammates to the media, in front of the media?
I think sometimes you kind of feel yourself, and that in a situation, especially where the game is on the line, and you know that you could steal one from the Cleveland Cavaliers, that honestly, you don't want C.J. Miles taking the last shot. You really, truly feel like it should be you. That said,
if you have a winning shot, how can you be so secure that at that time you can make the game?
Like I said, I was feeling myself, and so that's.
I can feel himself after each game. I can see you feeling yourself one time and you catch yourself, but after every single game, you're making a spectacle of yourself and your teammates. That's more than feeling yourself. You have an agenda. I can't decide what that is. I don't know. It's more than just feeling himself.
I know that my team can do better. And so I'm trying to push them forward, and maybe a little constructive criticism will help us get over the hump, because nothing else has worked so far.
I don't see anything that he said as being constructive. And they're supposed to be a team. So it's not this person did that. It's like we need to do better as a team. That's the political correct way to handle a situation such as that, Jamal. It definitely does not make any sense.
Kind of forgot we. Let me ask you a question, if I may. So, I touched on it earlier in the show. Reuben Foster. Now, you have one of the top 5 picks in the draft. With what happened with him at the Combine, would you still roll the dice and take him in the first round among the top 5 picks?
No, I wouldn't take him among the first top 5 picks. No, because he could be a liability. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't stop smoking weed before the combine, I mean, are you going to be able to stop before a game?
I mean,
Because you're not even in the league at this time, so I don't know. I wouldn't.
I'd think about it. I'd seriously think about it. It looks like a game changer.
We're going to go ahead and get into the schedules for the new season of 2017, the NFL.
Right.
All right. So, what matchups do you find interesting for the week one?
For the first week of the season, I actually do like Kansas City going to New England. I think that's going to be an interesting game for about 2 quarters, and that it's still a very interesting way to start off the season. The other matchup, I'm a little surprised. The Eagles at the Redskins, the first game of the season, and us playing the Giants. You made mention of it to me, and it kind of went over my head. But the realization that we have NFC East teams starting off playing one another, I'm just not feeling that. I think it should have been, something else. I would rather have maybe the Raiders game been moved up and have that as the first game of the season. I don't want to play a division rival first game of the season, especially the Giants. That I need to ease into the season. I don't need the instant, heart palpitations that we get every time we play the Giants. Otherwise, nothing. Gosh, I missed it. The Seahawks and the Packers. I think that'll be an interesting matchup. What about you? What grabs your attention?
Um, Nothing really. So we'll go on. It's gonna be there no matter when this game is played. I don't know why it has to be the first game of the year.
Mm.
I'm over it. I'm over it. So we do.
Week 2, we make a road trip. Forget Texas and USC. We're going to Denver.
I'm going to Texas USC.
Oh, okay.
I am. And I wish that maybe we were playing the Raiders that weekend, so I could have made a Texas California two-step.
So let me get this straight. On the weekend, the day of 420, we're giving this gift, and you're not going to jump on the perfect opportunity to actually go to Colorado where it's, legal.
Hey, I'm good on that. Now, my people, they might, want to go to Denver, but
I'm getting my edibles. Whatever.
Yeah,
So what else? What else week 2 grabs your attention?
I mean, Falcons, Packers, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Woof. Dang. They really don't
Yeah,
like the Packers.
that's about it. I think that's kind of light that weekend.
I'm looking at the Eagles and the Chiefs, the Andy Reid Bowl again, and the other matchup is the Lions and the Giants. I think that's going to be an interesting game, and for a Monday night game, I think it's not a bad matchup.
Okay, cool. All right, for week 3, see Jamal.
Well, week 3, I'm going to be watching Scandal on Thursday night, it looks like. Um, the Rams and 49ers, yeah, that's definitely a Scandal night. Um, I'm probably going to sleep through well, I'm going to go ahead and give the Jaguars a try. And they appear to be playing the Ravens in London on Sunday morning. So I'm going to give them a try, see what happens. And beyond that, I'm going to be asleep. The Broncos at the Bills, that might be interesting.
They're really on defense, and they just need a little bit of help on offense. So
Yeah,
possibly be a really good game. Um,
I think I think the Texans can walk into Foxborough and win because it's the regular season. Um,
yeah.
Whether it's a good matchup is another story.
And who's going to be their quarterback, Jamal?
Whoever they pick in the draft.
Okay, so for week 4,
Oh, we have the Cardinals. Yeah, okay. Yeah, week 4. Go ahead.
looks like
Ooh. Ooh.
Uh,
Uh. Uh. Uh.
the Steelers Ravens.
Steelers Ravens. I'm excited. I love that
Yeah,
game. I love
that's
that.
about all.
Wait a minute.
And the Raiders Broncos. That's gonna be a good game.
That's going to be a really good game. Uh, oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about now. And the Bills and the Falcons might be an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
The I'm going to be interested to see Cam Newton versus the Patriots.
A healthy Cam
A
Newton,
healthy Cam Newton. That is
right?
right. Yes. And the yeah, that's about all I got. Yeah, that's I got nothing else.
So you're not gonna have
Oh, the Titans and the
five in
Texans. The
there.
Titans and the Texans. An AFC South. Interesting. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's skip that. Week 5. Let's go. Let's get down to the meat and nitty gritty of why is this game at 3:30?
What game are you talking about?
Why is this game at 3:30 on week 5?
Yeah. The
That's there's no versus the Chiefs and the Texans at the Sunday night game
yeah, and they're not gonna be able to flex that either. So
or the
3:30 it is.
Vikings. This is ridiculous. Okay. Anyway, Packers. I'm looking. I'm really looking forward to that. That might be another road trip. I might have to come to town for that.
Road trips already.
I might have to come to town for that. I just might. I'm actually also interested in seeing the Patriots and the Buccaneers. I think that that's going to be a very interesting matchup, and especially since they're traveling to Tampa Bay. I'm looking forward to some very interesting things from Tampa Bay this season. And I don't think they're going to win the NFC South, but I think they're going to be a very competitive team and interesting to watch.
Okay. All
Otherwise,
right.
oh, and you also have the Ravens going to the Raiders at the same time as the Cowboys Packers. Thank you, NFL. That was brilliant. Okay. Well, there'll be another game of Tony Romo's I don't get to see. All right. So moving on to week 6.
All right. We have the Packers and the Vikings. Um, Patriots and Jets. You never know.
Yeah, we
You
do.
never know.
Yeah, we do. We know. We know. Come on. We know.
Okay.
I know you
Okay.
tried.
So Chiefs. It will should be a really good matchup.
Mhm.
Uh, a really good game at Kansas City.
Mhm.
And the Colts and the Titans they play again
Mhm.
on Monday night. And that's a good thing for a Monday night because usually Monday night games are the worst. I mean, compared to the Thursday night games.
Well,
But it's not.
The Eagles Panthers has the potential to be a fairly decent game. Like I can see giving up Olivia Pope that night to check in on this game. I feel good about it.
All right. So we'll
Oh,
do
I guess we have a bye this week.
7 and we'll do week 8, and then we can talk about week 8 through 16 on next week.
We have a bye. Oh, okay. Week 7. Oh dear God, really?
Raiders and the Chiefs. That's a good Thursday night game.
That is an
So
excellent Thursday night game. Yes.
they heard our complaining from
Mhm.
last year
Mhm.
about how Thursday night games
Yes.
suck.
Yes.
Okay, so at least they listened.
They
to
listened.
our.
Right. And even if both teams actually suck, it's still the Raiders and the Chiefs.
It's a game.
Yes. Yes. Mhm. And I'm looking. This is going to be a very busy weekend for me in the NFL red zone. The Buccaneers and the Bills looks interesting. No, 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 no. Okay, I was wrong. Okay, the Saints at the Packers. They don't travel well. No.
They don't.
Okay, so we're going out to San Francisco. Okay, the
We're
Seahawks
not
coming
going
to.
to San Francisco.
No, I mean the Cowboys. The Cowboys will be playing in San Francisco. Okay. The Seahawks and the Giants. That looks like actually a fairly interesting matchup. The Falcons and the Patriots.
Wow.
They did that, huh?
They did that.
They did that. I, I I I feel bad for the Falcons having to actually play this game in Foxborough with just all those fans screaming 25.
Well, they did it to themselves. So.
They did indeed. Man, you are just not empathetic to them tonight, are you?
I mean, how do you do that? How do you laugh like that on national TV? Like, it's only like, what, 11 million people watching? Like,
That was a lot.
we,
So week 8. Go ahead.
We'll come back to week 8. Okay. So, Jamal, my question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is your 420 friendly favoriteest movie of all times?
Half Baked.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
But I knew this. Okay, so mine is and don't laugh.
Is it Cheech and Chong?
And John.
Yes!
I mean, when I
Yes!
saw it, I didn't quite know like what they were doing because I was young.
Mm-hmm.
I might have been like 5.
You're watching Cheech and Chong at 5?
No. But I was young, so I really didn't know what was going on. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is some funny stuff, and these guys are just like funny. So that's my favoriteest of all time. You know, I had to go back in the day.
Cheech and Chong was second for me, and yeah, I similarly love to watch Cheech and Chong, and I understood it a little bit better because I watched it later in life. But I'm sorry, Rachel True, Dave Chappelle, our boy. I can't. Yeah, it's amusing to go back and to watch it. I haven't seen it in a couple of years, but I mean, it's amusing to go back and see the people that were in it and just how funny it was, and to know that one of the actors on there was going to grow up to be a television hitman. Just never saw it coming.
Well, all right. So the last topic of today is NFL draft. What do we need offensively? What do the Cowboys need offensively in this draft?
There's need, want, and wish list. The
Okay.
actual need, I would say, from the offensive standpoint, is another tight end. I feel that that would be a very wise choice for the Cowboys. The other thing they need is a decent backup quarterback, a veteran who can sit behind our boy Dak and, quarterback whisper in his ear, but act as a serviceable backup if called upon. I desire somebody to replace Terrence Williams over on the other side. A second wide receiver. That would really be...
They got cheap, Jamal. They got him for cheap. But they did.
Bryce can't catch. Bryce cannot catch.
He can't. And either, I mean...
He's got the speed. He just can't...
Well, that's kind of important if you're a wide receiver.
I would agree with you on that. So, I would like somebody who can catch and has some speed to be a true complement to Dez. And I would like for Terrence Williams to continue to play because he catches the ball. But I'd like him to be the third wide receiver, which is where I truly feel he belongs.
Okay.
What about you?
With you on the tight end, we need that one because ours left. Well, our third string, second string was hurt. First string has good hands, but a little slow. Okay, so yeah, we need tight end. A want, I would like a speedy receiver. Okay, and someone who can catch the ball. And on my wish list, which I don't think we'll get in this draft, draft. I don't know where we're going to get this backup quarterback, but we do need one. It's very important. So, Jamal,
I'm glad we're right there. Yes.
next week, we're going to do this show from Philly.
We're not going to do the show from Dallas and parts unknown?
We're going to do this show from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and parts unknown.
Will we wear disguises?
I will be dressed as a Cowboy fan.
Ooh.
What are you going to be dressed as?
Ooh. I'm going to be dressed as a cheesesteak sandwich.
Don't do it. Don't do it. We don't want anyone to mistake you for a cheesesteak. So, everybody, we're going to be live from Philadelphia. I'm hoping to meet some really nice fans that won't mind answering some great questions about their teams. If not, we'll see. Should be interesting. So, we'll see y'all live from Philly next week on Thursday. My flight don't land at 7, so I'm going to be on CP time, just so y'all know, okay?
What? What?
But that's what's important.
What?
All right, so this was a great show. Thank you, Jamal, for another great show. Thank you for your opinions. And,
Bye.